Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Today we're watching America is replacing a 200 years old mistake on purpose by Tom Bailey. Let's see what is this about.
This is coming out of the Senate Mike Lee's proposal to make Pirates of the Caribbean legal again.
Literally,
I can
Drew.
read this, but I feel like you have this like queued up.
I don't know what I thought, but I didn't thought about this. Let's see.
So I'm gonna pass the mic to you, Tom.
All right.
Like, walk us through this. What did this mean exactly?
So, all right, here's what's going on. Senator Mike Lee wants to treat cartels like pirates, so you got to respect that.
Okay.
A new Senate bill would let the president issue letters of marque, officially treating cartel members as pirates. Letters of marque are a constitutional tool that are used to authorize private actors in warfare. The bill would classify cartel members as pirates under international law. This allows private security or contractors to target cartels legally. It bypasses traditional military deployment and congressional war declarations, which is turning out to be something that Trump is very good at, finding like those things, like the old laws that like, oh, I can just use my EO powers to get this across the line.
Duct taped it.
How would that work? Let's be honest now. So you make the cartel members pirates, right? And then you let private, is it citizen or only like military people, allow them to what, attack them? Do you do it only on in the open waters, like international waters? You do it on whatever country they're coming from waters, or are you doing in your own countries? I understand if they come in your own waters trying to bring whatever drugs they're bringing, that would allow you to actually attack them, sink them, whatever. But do you chase them in international waters, or do you do it in their waters? That would make a difference.
Together, okay, now I got a
Yes.
new law.
It's wild. The last U.S. letters of marque were issued during the War of 1812, to give you an idea on this. So, yeah, this quite literally brings us back to the age of piracy, where what we realized was, okay, this is way too hard for the British Empire to track down all of this stuff. So we're going to start writing these letters of marque so that privateers, as they were known, had official sanction to go and like shoot cannons at these pirates and take the stuff back, confiscate their ships, confiscate their bounty. I mean, it is this one is wild to me. Like, I really saw in some ways that history moves in like this linear fashion. And now I'm realizing, man, this stuff really just loops on itself. Like,
Of course, history always repeats itself. So you confiscating their stuff, and what you do with them? Do you give them to some kind of authorities, government, police, FBI, whoever? Or do they keep it for themselves and open shop with whatever they, let's say you're targeting whatever cartel. You go in, you take their stuff, guns, money, drugs. What do you do with them? Do you open shop? That's what I would probably do. Especially if there's some kind of military contractors. Why would they not take the money, take the guns, and then what you gonna do with the product? Throw it away, or you gonna sell it to make more money? Most likely they're gonna try to sell it to make more money. That kind of opens another can of worms. That means whatever private military, they, not necessarily private military, but different cartels gonna attack a different cartel, and they're gonna blame it on whatever article about the piracy is, right? That makes no sense. It's literally gonna be gang on gang crime, trying to take over each other. And if it's not the gangs, then the private militaries, they're gonna probably open their own shop with the products.
honestly,
I feel like this is
letters
the start
marque,
of your
man.
One Piece journey. Now we get a crew, We could get around. We just need a Nami, and we'll be good. Like we could just start going around and just looking
You're
for.
saying it to be funny, but that's what this actually does.
That's the actual law.
There's
crazy.
a guy. If you look in I can't remember if it's on the White House one, but somebody posted about this. There's a guy who I guess is part of, he says in his Twitter bio, part of P. Marcas, which is Mark Andreessen, part of his like tech in group. And he makes military weapons. And he was like, hey, to any of you privateers that are going to do this, so all you Luffys, all you Namis, all you Zoros out there, we've got the weaponry that you need and we're ready to supply you. And I was like, oh my God.
Okay, jokes aside.
I mean, maybe the guy was just trying to make like free advertise for his weapons, right? Are those whatever private military people, are they getting paid by the governments, or they just do it for themselves? Because if you do it for yourself, you would kind of want to make some money out of it. Which brings me back to why would they not keep whatever they can get from them? Weapons, guns, money. Weapons, guns, money. You know what I mean? I mean, guns, money, drugs. And most likely, they're going to open shop on themselves and try to sell whatever product they have. And that will probably put them in connection with the bigger cartels that actually grow all this stuff. We're just changing one cartel for another, basically.
What this is saying is, it's almost kind of like the like a citizen's arrest, but like in the Caribbean Sea. So that way, if you see a narco boat or anything that seems, I guess, under the definitions that Trump outlined, you can seize from them, you can shoot at them, you can sink their
we would have
boats.
to
Like,
look. We'll do some research into the actual specifics of what's legal and what's not. I don't want to give people a legal opinion here, but yes, there would be a set of known yeses and nos. So things you can do, things you can't do, rules of engagement, all of that stuff. And as long as you file them, then it would be considered a good seizure. I don't know what percentage they're allowed to keep of the stuff that they get. That we'd have to look into.
Yeah.
But this is one of the ways that
They are allowed to keep. Why would they have to actually report it? You, I don't know, seize $10 million, you're gonna say, oh, they only have $500,000 with them. Like, come on. Anybody would do the same thing. I would.
the golden age of piracy was ended was privateers just like came out of the woodwork. This is also, by the way, how the West was won. You had all of these militias that the most famous would morph into the Texas Rangers, but it started as these groups realizing, oh, the way that the government is officially going about fighting the Native Americans is nonsensical. Native Americans, they'll always exploit a moment of weakness, and the second that the odds are matched, they bail. It's actually quite brilliant.
I mean,
it's the kinds of strategies that we would use during the Revolutionary War, the kind of strategies that insurgents use.
Yeah.
It's like you don't fight in a headlong trench warfare kind of battle. And so all of this allows for that sort of mano-a-mano type thing where it's going to be what start as private citizens amassing what will look like militias, going out and stopping these narco boats. But like how they qualify, like how do you prove that this is a narco boat? What happens to you if it's not a narco boat and you blow it up and you kill somebody? Like that's going to happen. This is one of those things that like the writer in me is like, I can't believe this is real. This is incredible. And then.
And do you only do it on in the water, in the sea, ocean, whatever? Or are you allowed to go in their own country to do it? That would make a difference.
The like real world version of me is like, this is psychotic.
Yeah.
And this is going like, this is the kind of thing I wanted to believe that we moved away from. This is why we have the military. Like you both having a big country where you fucking pay for everything and you have this gigantic standing military and unleashing private citizens to build their own militia and go off half-cocked is like, guys, let's pick a lane here. Either we're going to pay for everything and we're going to be a military that's going to police the seas, or defund to a reasonable extent a lot of this stuff and say, cool, privateers, have at it. Here are the laws. Keep in mind, you can go to prison, so be careful if you do this wrong. So this one is, I will be I will reserve my judgment to see how this plays out, but I cannot see this playing out any way but badly.
The real
Really bad, most likely. And again, are you allowed to go in their own country, or you do it only on the international water, or only when they're coming in your waters, like on your territory? Like that would make a difference, because you cannot go in someone's waters or country and start attacking their citizens. You can call them gang members, you can call them cartels, you can call them whatever you want. They're still their citizens. And then if you go there, then anybody in that country, not necessarily the cartels, are allowed to kill you, basically, because you're someone invading their own country, trying to commit a crime against their people. So, yeah, I would probably be okay if you wait until they're coming in your country or your waters. At that point, you can say, okay, you cross this border into my own territory, we're gonna have an issue. But just go and chase them in their own countries, their own waters, maybe even international waters, because they're cartels, right? They're not coming to attack you or whatever vessel, ship. They're just passing through. They're basically couriers. So you can actually have a reason to attack them, except that they are whatever cartels. But if they're not coming in your own country, your own territory, then what would be the reason to attack them?
like domino to fall will be when Pete Hegseth drops a drone on a narco boat, but it was a narco boat commandeered by a privateer and ends up killing an American citizen who just killed a narco person.
Yes.
That's
the kind of chaos. you invite.
that's the
Yep.
thing that like will really kind of sober a lot of people about this law. So it's interesting.
And then you open the gate for them to attack you, to be very aggressive, right? If they keep getting killed, shot, whatever, by everybody, then they're gonna be like, you know what? Let me bring my own bazooka, and I see someone, I'm gonna stop them from hurting me. Basically, it's self-defense at that point.
And going through it, there's a part that we skip over. Yeah, I'm making all the pirate jokes, but it does say to seize cartel property and persons on land or sea outside the U.S.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting to see what happens in Mexico, in Colombia, in Venezuela, and some of
Yes.
these.
Yeah, you cannot go in someone else's country and start trying to seize cartels products. Like that would be so stupid. From the government itself being, what these people are doing in my own country, and then the cartels protecting themselves, and then anybody in that country can be like, what these guys are doing here? Are they coming to invade us? So then they would have a reason to defend themselves.
other places where there's
They,
the hubs.
they will be subject to those jurisdictions, though. Let's be very clear. This is just the U.S. saying, don't worry, we won't prosecute you.
Yeah.
Until I hear Mexico or Venezuela or whoever say, no, we're good, I will assume that we're going to have
Why
an
would they?
international problem here. Now, back in the day of piracy, I imagine people were way more on board with this because you really couldn't police the seas. And so the only way to do this was to finally say, listen, every ship now that's out in the sea might be coming for you, so you might want to rethink your piratey ways. At one point, the average life expectancy of a pirate was something like 3 years.
Sheesh.
Like, you were just toast. Once you became a pirate, that was game over. You were going to get killed. And this is one of the reasons that now piracy is only something that happens like off of third world countries. Because, bro, that is just, for so long, it was just a one-way path to an early grave.
So this is what I think about it, guys. I don't think it's a good idea unless you're waiting for them to come on your territory. If you're going and chase them in their own territory, even international water, their own country, that is going to open a really big issue. You give them the reason to defend themselves, self-defense, and they can kill you too. I mean, it would probably be nice to not having to deal with all the drugs. But, and then again, if you go and seize their weapons, money, drugs, whatever. What's stopping you from not reporting everything you're seizing? Or open your own shop, right? Now you have all the guns, all the money, all the drugs. Slowly, you're gonna make some connections with people that actually do this, and then you're gonna start selling it yourself. And I mean yourself, whoever is doing it. I would probably do it. I would probably be in that situation where I will be like, should I declare everything I took, or should I just find someone else to sell it so I can make some extra money on it? So either way, it's not going to end well. The only way to actually go with this would be for the government of that country to actually do something about it. There's cartels everywhere in the world. There's drugs anywhere in the world. The government itself would have to actually do something about it. Most likely they're going to have to be very aggressive about it, but it is what it is. You want to stop something, you actually have to take the hard, to do the hard choice, right? To do the hard thing. Well, see you guys in the next one. Have fun.